Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. In recent weeks I've been having a lot of fun with off-axis turning, primarily of these small medallion sort of things. By the way, they don't have to be small medallions. I've used them for lids, for canteen faces, anywhere an insert that needs to be unique. It's a lot of fun based on feedback where people did not like me using my plumbing wrench. I now have a spanner and a oil filter wrench to supplement, because when you're using the infinite axis chuck you do want that to be cinched up tight, which reminds me about safety. Remember your face shield, remember to stay on your side of the tool rest, remember that this thing is flying around pretty wildly. Keep your head and your wit about you at all times, so be safe while you're using it. So we've done these with an infinite axis chuck. For this video I wanted to try a different element. I wanted to try and get an oval shaping insert in here. So I made a tilting chuck. This one is two ways. You can accept the work platform on this side or a chuck, and I can switch those two around. Enables me to use the drill press and to drill an angled hole. I tried on the lathe and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get the leverage in there. So for this week, let's make these using the infinite axis chuck and the oval inserts from being drilled in. And I tried this, showed these in our club meeting the other night, and people couldn't put them down because they just wanted to feel them. Can I touch them? Yes, you can. I'm going to take him to another fellow that's a blind man. I think he'll really enjoy these. He's a wood turner. So let's go ahead and make these using the infinite axis chuck. To prepare, I glued a 1-inch thick disc of maple to a work platform. I used regular wood glue since this may take a beating and my drill may penetrate into the work platform anyway. Double stick tape would get solidly glued in place if that were the case. With my accessories, I can clean up the ends anyway. In setting up the tilt table, I swapped the chuck hub for a mount that directly accepts my work platform, then angled the tilt to an angle that seems to be okay. I want the hole to go completely through the wood. It is okay to go into the work platform since I can easily renew the surface with fresh wood. I also want the hole off to one side. I also put wedges under the lower edge to help resist rotational pressure. As I start to drill, the Forstner bit bounces against the steep surface. A bit disconcerting. Once the bit fully engages, it is easier to continue. Then adjust the mount and drill a second hole. That will be enough for this medallion. Then off to turn a couple of 7/8" spindles from Paduk. Then epoxy the Paduk spindles into my maple and let it harden thoroughly. Now for some of that cleanup. I have glued a piece of Purple Heart to the backside. With the Purple Heart secured, I clean it up also. Since the wood is much thicker than what I need for the medallion, I need to transfer to another work platform. I used double stick tape this time, then parted off from the original work platform. Yes, the Paduk spindles did penetrate into the work platform. No problem, I will face it off later. Now I can glue another piece of Purple Heart to the opposite side. However, the wood is thick enough for 3 medallions, but I need to slice it off to make the additional medallions. I'm using my Bandsaw Slicing Jig. The jig accepts my auxiliary mount for the work platform. A couple of slices, but I also added more backing Purple Heart. I will spare you that video. Now I'm getting closer to the fun action, but first I want to sand the front surface, now while the wood is still concentric and running smoothly. I will cut into the surface, but now is the best time to establish a smooth front surface. This time I am also applying shellac to attempt to seal the wood, especially the Paduk. Now I can mount my infinite axis chuck and set up for the first mini feature. The live center points to the new axis. Then cinch up the chuck with a spanner or an oil filter wrench. I'm cutting this mini feature with a 1/4" round nose scraper. This is just a bit of a hollow in the center of one of the ovals. Then sand and apply shellac to the mini feature area. On to the next mini feature in an open area of maple near the edge. I want a small V feature. But apparently I did not cinch the chuck quite enough. I tried to realign the axis, but it is almost impossible to align exactly. Instead, I redesigned the mini feature. It will be fine. Then sand and apply shellac to the mini feature. Moving on to another mini feature, loosen the chuck and point to a new axis. I give the chuck an extra push to cinch it as tightly as I can. After cutting a groove with a point in the middle, I can sand and apply shellac to this mini feature. Another mini feature, this time I'm using a spindle gouge. With so little wood being removed, it does not take long before I'm again sanding and applying shellac. Is there space for another mini feature? Of course! And features can overlap. Sand and apply shellac. Yet another mini feature in a blank area, but varying the profile of the mini feature. This time with my skew. Sand and apply shellac. Now I have mounted the work platform to an auxiliary platform mount. This feature will be half cove around the perimeter. Again, sand and apply shellac. After all that is done, I am applying denatured alcohol to the double stick tape. I am attempting to keep the DNA away from the finished face of the medallion. A little alcohol and some prying with a scraper and the medallion is free. I then sand the backside with a pad mounted to the spindle. More shellac on the backside and again all over the front before buffing. With the angled inserts, I wanted an oval shape. However, the angle should have been more acute for a better oval. Next time. For now, I cannot describe how much fun it is to turn these medallions. Each seems to have its own character and expressions. What do you see? Then, while they are visually interesting, they are also finger candy. The bumpy surface is interesting to feel. This completes this series focusing on off-axis turning of these medallions. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, and tell your friends about my videos. I appreciate your comments and questions, and every week I add a new woodturning video to my website. Always, please wear your face shield anytime the lathe is running. It is your last line of defense. It was mine many years ago, and I will see you again next week.